my 49ers, huge letdown game at home. And Kyle Shanahan came out and was like, the Falcons are treating this like their Super Bowl, and unless we treat it like the Super Bowl, we're going to lose this game. So apparently the Niners did not treat this like the Super Bowl because they lost to the Falcons. And it's crazy how the NFC West champion is going from the first seed to the fifth seed, back to the first seed, and then back to the fifth seed is what the Niners and the Eagles keep doing. And basically what happens is that fifth seed is going to go to Dallas or Philadelphia and play a team.
The fourth seed. And then the fifth seed is going to travel there. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So they're going to have to go play one of these teams that has nothing to lose, is an underdog at home. Really don't want that.
No,
so
I mean, it puts you even in the rosiest of circumstances at a 70-30 when it could be 100 versus. I mean, you'll always take that 30% jump.
So does this change? This changes the complexity of the NFC, in my opinion. And here's why. The Seahawks are not as good of a team as the 49ers are. And so what you do by increasing the chances that the Seahawks are playing at home, the Niners are playing on the road, is you make it a lot easier for the Saints. Because you put the Niners in a harder row, so there's less of a chance that you play the Niners. And if you do, you play them in a weaker setup. Mm-hmm. And if the Seahawks make it all the way through, you'd rather play the Seahawks because they're not as good of a team. So I think that the Saints were sitting at home today and going, thank God. This is the optimal situation for us.
Yeah, I mean, but they have to take care of business tonight.
Sure, I mean, but they're a 10-point favorite.
Yeah, the thing I agree with you. I do think if you're the New Orleans Saints, you view Seattle as far less of a threat, and you view San Francisco as a team that by the time they get to you after 2 rounds, as far less. And you've also lost to them before,
right,
at home. You have sort of tape on them. You know where it could go wrong. So yeah, I'm absolutely with you there that it makes the Saints road a lot better. But again, like from the perspective of the 49ers, so this loss today really. So now they're what? They're 10-3. No, 11-3. So if they win out, they still get the 1 seed.
Right. Well, they have to beat the Seahawks.
Yes. So like from the perspective of today's game, I know Shanahan like put on a brave face and everything, but like it was a classic letdown spot because you had, if you lose the game, there's really nothing to winning out and then getting the 1 seed. And so then the question becomes like, okay, what's that road? And I think that the not to the Niners' point, their road is difficult being at home to the Rams this week and then on the road to Seattle. So there's still a really good path for them to the 1 seed, but it does get a lot tougher.
What worried me about this game was if you're going to say that, as Shanahan does, hey, we got to play like it's the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And then you are up by 2 and you've got a 4th and 1 and you're playing the Falcons. Minute 50 left. If you're the Niners and you believe you're the best team in the NFL, particularly like the best running team in the NFL, you can't gain 1 yard. You're telling me you can't put the Falcons away, a team that has just... they have been laying on death's door for the entirety of the season. You decide to kick a field goal in that situation. To me, that was the antithesis of what they had been preaching that whole game. And that's the part that worries me. I was so emboldened by what they did in Baltimore, going for it on those 4th downs. And then, so I don't know whether to like read into that and be like, this is what they're going to do when it really matters. Or was this just we actually don't care about this game that much?
Here's a couple things. So I hate to say this, but it was a long yard. So like when you look at...
Was it the longest one? Or?
No, but it was like the field goal was technically 8 yards behind. So it was... Even the field goal that Gold hit was like a solid 8.5 yards behind. So when you look at like the game book, for example, it does say 4th and 1, but it was at least 4th and 1.5.
That's fair.
And we do know that does matter a little bit. That being said, like what do they really have in a situation like that? What do they really have to lose? You're one of the best offenses in the NFL. You're one of the best running games in the NFL, and the Falcons defense was playing outside their mind, and I still think, they weren't going to do a great job with you in that game. That being said, like, think about the Falcons did a great job in terms of, like, Grady Jarrett was an absolute monster in the game today. Their secondary played fine, especially given Desmond Trufant was out, and the Niners dropped a lot of passes. So it was certainly a letdown spot. It sort of made me a little bit irritated that we didn't give the Falcons more attention in the plus 9.5 to plus 11 range, last week.
Thanks for watching the PFF YouTube channel. And if you want to subscribe, all you have to do is push the button. Don't forget everything you get. A little fantasy, push the button. A little green line for the gambling aspects of the game, push the button. College football, push the button. The YouTube channel from PFF.